everyone, welcome to Chatbox Reviews. I'm your host Tanya. With me today is my lovely husband Stanley, and we are going to finally review our Justice League Zack Snyder cut. Woohoo!
And this has been like a long time coming too, because what was it, 2017 all the way up to now, nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
I was doubtful. I was one of the naysayers. I was like, nah, whatever. I wasn't a big fan of BVS. I didn't really care for Suicide Squad and all that stuff. I have to eat my words now because this really was like Zack Snyder's vision that was finally executed the way he wanted.
Yeah.
So all these stories and all these things that were coming out about, he wasn't getting paid at first for cutting everything that he had together. And then when he pitched it, I think, to HBO or whatever it was, and he said, hey, all I need is money to shoot the scenes that I wasn't able to after he had to leave the project due to a tragedy and stuff. But HBO was like, all right, cool. So it was originally going to be a 6-part series.
Yeah.
6-part.
We can count.
And then it apparently the rumor is that the higher ups watched it at HBO and said, look, this plays out really well like a movie. Why don't we just release it in one big hit? People have waited long enough. And a lot of fans have been screaming about this for ages, and I cannot get over how much we watched this more or less going, why didn't they leave that in? Why didn't they leave that in?
Oh, yeah.
We were getting excited, but we were still getting a little bit frustrated, why did they cut that out? And then we kind of came to that conclusion of maybe he didn't shoot that. And it's like, well, of course he shot that, because that bit coincides with that bit from what we saw in 2017.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it really frustrates me with this whole, because this is a George Lucas thing as well. When he was, before Star Wars, he made that. This was the whole reason why he said, I want to own it. I'm not going to give up the rights to merchandising and this stuff and all of this, and here's my script. When he wrote, I forget which film it was. It wasn't American Graffiti, but whatever it was, the studio cut 15 minutes off of the film and re-edited it, and he was like, why'd you do that? That's 15 minutes that really serves the story well. And they're like, well, we did it so we can put more sessions in the theater so people will go to many more times, so it'll make more money. And he's like, yeah, but no one will want to see it because this scene and that scene, that and that and that won't be in it. Makes no sense. Why'd you do it? And they're like, well, we did it because we can.
Yeah.
It's our property, more or less. Yeah, you made it for us, but it's ours. So that's what led him to making Star Wars. And we wrote out Star Wars. He had all of these different storylines and characters and everything. And then he just cut all of that down to one small bit and said, that's still too big. Cut it down to a little bit more. And then we got A New Hope. So this really, Justice League really comes off as that Snyder's strong suit is being able to have his story start to finish.
Yeah.
And all what happened was he got meddled with, and they said, we're going to cut this, we're going to cut that out, we're going to remove this.
They definitely should have left it alone.
And it was just too many cooks in the kitchen, because there was a sequence in there where it's got Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne staring at Barry in the Batcave going, I don't understand. He came through right there and freaking, I didn't know what he was talking about and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's just something darker that's coming. And I was just like, oh, so he's making reference to almost like a series. Snyder wrote out this entire storyline and he didn't even get to finish that. But now he did. And there's different things. I love that sequence where they're all talking about what they're going to do with the mother box.
Yeah.
And you see the hologram of Superman there, and I was just like, that was 10 times better than them arguing, or Affleck as Bruce Wayne giving Diana, Gal Gadot's character, shit, saying, "Oh, what? Steel Trevor?" He says something where she punches him and stuff, and I'm just like, why
On
did?
the cut, yeah.
Yeah, why did Whedon freaking put that crap in? The scene with that family out in Russia or wherever it was, I was just like, how does that serve
Where
anything?
Superman and Flash are racing to collect them all. On the
Yeah,
truck.
to save
Yeah.
people and stuff, and I'm just like, all right, you're having,
An epic battle, and
Yeah.
you're finding time to have jokes.
well, yeah,
And
just
save
stuff
people,
like that.
yes.
Like, so, yeah, the whole thing, it's not like, oh, we're going to save a couple of people. It's like the world is under a threat if you guys all fail. That's the story.
Yeah.
You can't have these little tiny stories and have them just sitting in a room, because that's what Joss Whedon does best. He just writes a whole bunch of dialogue and just puts them in a small room, and it's like, oh, it's an apocalyptic level stuff. And you kind of go like, this is sort of
Yeah.
dumb.
Well, for
like-
me, I'm kind of the same, where it's like, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of BVS. I refused to see Birds of Prey, and I wasn't a big fan of Suicide Squad. There's good elements in them. It's just, in all, it wasn't kind of what my idea of what I wanted to see. Like, I really enjoy the comics, so it wasn't what I personally enjoyed seeing on screen. I would rather read the comics. But I really enjoyed Justice League Snyder's Cut. Like, every beat, I was just like, oh my god, this is so good. The Amazons, ugh, I love my Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, just like them, like, it just kind of like 300 style of them just going, huh, all together and
So much more.
fighting.
So much more of them.
So much
was
more
really
of them.
cool.
The legion of all the Amazons, the Artemis's arrow scene. So much that we got to see in all of the Justice League Snyder Cut, which I was like, why did they like mess with it and put a theatrical version out when we could have had this to begin with?
Like that question of why were they in Russia? Like, and that family was not even in there. That was just a stupid Whedon thing. But
That whole scene.
then they had like one bit of dialogue that just explained everything. When they're like, why is they in why has he got the mother box in Russia? They absorb heat. They
they're on
take
a
radiation.
nuclear, yeah.
So, you know, yeah, the Chernobyl like disaster or whatever the hell it was.
Hiroshima, I think.
Yeah, whatever it was, that's why they're there, because it's taken all the radiation out, it's absorbed it all. I was like, oh, okay.
And to see Darkseid in it and his minions.
Yeah, see Apocalypse freaking.
Yeah, it was
Just-
really good
Whew.
to have like these little, more Easter eggs in there. To see Martian Manhunter in there.
That was a big surprise. I
So
was like, oh
good.
man, all the fan
Yeah.
theories, all the different debates and stuff, that's actually there. And then the whole deal with Steppenwolf, like, that's a character that I was just like,
Looked so much better.
wow, he's more menacing. When he's cutting his way in to get that final mother box,
Yeah.
and Victor's father's like in there, and I'm just like, screw that. I don't want to be anywhere near him. But yeah, he was more menacing. Him taking on the Amazons as well, that was kind of crazy good.
Freaking Wonder Woman going on that journey to discover.
Yeah, a little bit of Tomb Raider-esque stuff in there. I was like, this is really kind of fun, like to watch her go on her own little quest. But then to see Cyborg and Flash have a little bit more, do them justice, no pun intended. But yeah, Aquaman has his moment. William Dafoe was there as well.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this all really works. It does kind of feel like this was supposed to be part one and part two of, like, two films.
Yeah, I'm devastated that we may not see the trilogy come to light, but I'm hoping that this is showing the studio.
The big tease, at the end.
That we want this, like, show us the next movie, because we know that there is going to be a next one.
But Snyder's even said a few times, oh, thanks so much, like, for this, and the fans just wanted it, so we've got it. So it's more or less his way of saying, if you want to keep pushing, they'll listen. Eventually they'll give in. And I just got this feeling that he's left it too much on a cliff. Like, there's one thing to have a small tease, there's another thing to have like this unbelievable, by the way, there's this whole other story going on out there, and I'm just like, wow, that it's sort of sold me on the nightmare sequence kind of deal. Like, the apocalyptic future, because he's mentioned it in a few interviews where he's said, what drives Superman crazy? Well, freaking Darkseid, he boom tubes into the Batcave and kills Lois.
Yeah.
So naturally Superman
Saw
would blame...
glimpses of it, yeah.
But he'd blame Batman for it and stuff. But then, like, the whole anti-life equation kind of thing, like, played into it. But, like, Steppenwolf getting told, like, you still own 50,000 planets. And he's just like, are you freaking serious? Like, I just want to come home, dude. But, like, there's a story, like, if they do this whole New Gods movie and stuff... Hopefully they do go in the Snyder direction. They do say, like, all right, let's show Steppenwolf trying to take the throne, Darkseid being like, nope, it's mine. And, have Orion in there, like, being raised to hate his father, and just, like, have a full-on kind of backstory to this.
Yeah.
Because for Darkseid to be, like, saying, all right, we have to resort to the old ways, it was really weird to see Granny Goodness in there. I was like, holy crap. Like, that's...
I knew she was in there. Now, what did you think of that epic battle where Darkseid actually comes to Earth back in the old days before, like, with the Greek gods?
That could have just been a movie all on its own, because the, 10 seconds of footage and stuff that was in the Whedon version.
Yeah.
And then you watch a good 2 minutes of this. I'm like, man, this could just be the whole movie.
I really enjoyed that.
Seeing Zeus and Ares and stuff all fighting together to take him down. Like, yeah, I don't know if it was Tomare or who knows, but it was just crazy because that sequence at the end where it shows the Justice League, like, in the future, and you see Kilowog lying there dead, Superman floating there with the freaking the bat mask and stuff in his hand. I was like, oh, man,
injustice.
Like, Snyder is just like, he is just dangling the carrot, saying, come and get it. If you guys want to see it, just keep doing what you were doing before, because who knows, like, this might actually happen. If he can get Ben Affleck to come back and Jared Leto to come back and all these, like, different performers and stuff to, like, show up, like...
Yeah, there was, like, one thing that I wasn't too fond of was some of the epilogues.
Yeah.
So some worked out and I was happy with, but the one with Batman in the desolate world, I was like, we didn't really need that one.
But that's, I can understand why he put that in there. When it's said to him about a year ago, all right, we'll do a 6-part series, we'll do a 6-part series, we'll do a 6-part series. And then he's like, okay, so now I've got to try and stretch it out. And when it's going from part 1 to part 2, part 3, and then it gets to this point where I would be one of those executives that sat there and watched the whole 2 hours, 4 hours. 4 hours, yeah. And just be like, why don't we just release this all in one big hit? Because people are going to be crawling the walls and just being I want to see the next one now. Like,
even just make it 2 movies.
Yeah, like originally, like what it was apparently supposed to be, but the next movie was supposed to be they go to Apocalypse and wage a war there, and they lose, and then when they come back, Darkseid's already conquered Earth and stuff. And what Snyder had said, Barry has to go back in time to tell Bruce. And rewrite, because even Jared Leto's Joker turned around and said, how many times do you have to change time before you realize you got to sacrifice yourself, like, or kill yourself to get this all right again. But yeah, it's just it's something that is like, if you asked me 10 years ago, I'm like, no, give us origin stories and stuff. Now it's sort of like, yeah, this does seem like a good time, because we've got Superman and Lois, the series that's exploring the Superman family life. We've also got like Titans. Yeah. That's all Nightwing and stuff. So now I'm just kind of like, yeah, we don't need origin movies and stuff from DC anymore. Like, they can go straight into this, like, different Elseworlds and stuff, like all of that stuff. I'm fine with it. I'm happy to see, like, Snyder finally got his vision put out there. It's like, see, I'm not freaking stupid. I just got some stupid director that came along and tried to
the studio's meddling too.
that too, like you even heard in an interview that he said, I got notes from Warner Brothers that I ignored, and freaking, you know, I was like, and what has he got to lose now?
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, hey, I got screwed over like twice because more than 2 times, because he got told, we need this dark and gritty, make a DC universe that's dark and gritty, and he's like, okay, and then they're like, all right, it's too dark, it's too gritty, make it more lighthearted. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we're going to take this off you and give it to someone else. And he's like, oh, what the F? Like, so I don't blame him for sort of being like, yeah, I'm going to stir some shit and just really stick it to the higher ups who apparently aren't in power anymore, aren't there.
Right, okay.
I think it's just his way of being like, see, you should have just gone with me. You should have given me more time. Should have given me 1 more year of filming the rest of this and putting it out there. But all the cast, everyone, like you heard Jason Momoa, you heard all these different performers turning around saying, I would love to see the Snyder version.
Yeah, that's
And
true, yeah.
Yeah, just
I think Henry Cavill even tweeted something out about, you know.
he was
wanting to see
tweeting
it.
pictures of the Superman suit
Yeah.
in black before it even came out in 2017. So everyone was like, there was no black suit. What the hell?
Yeah.
But
No.
yeah, so like, is there anything else you can think of?
No, just that we really enjoyed it, and happy that it came out and we got to see it. So, yeah, we eat our words.
Well, I'm eating my words because I was doubtful. You were the one who was like,
True,
no,
yeah.
let's give it a chance. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know, there's always 2 sides to a story. You can't believe everything coming out of the media on the studio
Yeah,
side
true,
and
100%.
stuff.
The media does twist and bend things.
So yeah, all in all, we enjoyed it. I loved
Yes.
it. More of it. We want more of it. So
Yeah, I'm hoping that they continue on with this.
yeah, I can admit when I'm wrong, and yes, I was wrong about Snyder's version not looking like it was going to work.
And I'm just
stuff.
glad it wasn't like a rehash of Joss Whedon's, because that's what my concern was, that it was just we were just gonna see the same stuff but with the extra bits. But this is like a whole new movie.
And remember, where I'm coming from was we were going to get a Superman Lives movie, didn't happen. We got Superman Returns, that was supposed to get a sequel, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Then we got Man of Steel, that was supposed to have a sequel, that didn't happen. It ended up getting turned into Batman vs Superman because the studio wanted to rush out a Justice League as
Yeah.
quickly as they could to
They're
try and
just
counter,
trying to compete.
like with, you know, other studios and stuff. But now it's like getting to the point where it's like, hey, spend the time, spend the money,
Yeah.
and trust in your writers and directors. Don't meddle.
Yeah, like
Be-
just do your own thing. Don't try and rush stuff out just to compete.
And we already know that Warner Brothers is watching everything that we're saying. Disney, freaking Universal.
Oh, yeah,
We know
totes.
they come to us for everything. So yeah, take note, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, listen to us because we control multi-billion-dollar freaking
I
organizations.
wish that'd be so good.
But anyway, what did you guys think? Have you seen the Snyder Cut yet? Have you seen the
Yeah.
original? Have you watched it more than once, the original?
What did you think? Let
The
us know.
Justice verse. So, yeah, leave us a comment below, like, subscribe.
Just check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch.
And thanks for watching,
Thanks
guys.
for watching.
Bye.
Bye.